Well, good afternoon, everybody. Craig out again on the 2018 Honda Goldwing, out and about, just enjoying the day. Wanted to make a video today about a couple really good videos. I guess you would call it, this would be my reaction video to their videos. A couple really good videos. One was done by Bronco Ride, and I believe the title was, Why Do People Hate Harley-Davidson? I believe something like that. Or if it's either way, I'll throw the link up in here so you can take a look at the video. And the other one was done by, I believe it's Matt Laidlaw. He's a Harley-Davidson owner, owns a Harley-Davidson dealership. And he did a video / podcast of, and I think the title was, Are Harley-Davidson Motorcycles Too Expensive? And again, I watched that one. That was a little over an hour, that video, but I watched the whole thing. Very good video, both of them. But it led me to really kind of comment and want to, answer those questions. And I'll kind of do my take on both of them. So first thing, why do people hate Harley-Davidson? I only can really talk to, of my experience, I don't have any hate for Harley-Davidson whatsoever. I don't have any hate for really any manufacturer of motorcycles, but I have no hate for Harley-Davidson at all. I mean, it was, for me, it was a close choice between my Honda Goldwing and a Harley-Davidson Road Glide. So I was definitely looking at the Harley-Davidson. So I'm not one of those people that's drinking a big glass of Haterade. It's not me. I have no problems with Harley at all. I would say, as far as, are their motorcycles too expensive? It's hard to answer the question, but I'll give it my best shot. Are their motorcycles too expensive? Yeah, they're too expensive, but a whole lot of caveats. And I'll go into some of the things they kind of really talked about in this video that Matt Laidlaw did. And I know it's coming from a perspective of being a Harley-Davidson dealership owner. So, are they too expensive? Well, it's relative. If you have a ton of money and money's not an object to you, then probably not. They're not. If you have $42,000 and you want to get a CVO limited, and the $42,000 is not going to put a dent in you whatsoever, as far as finances, then you could say that's not too expensive. So under that caveat, if you have the money, you might not see it as expensive. If you don't have the money, you might say, yeah, it's way too expensive for me. So it really depends on your financial situation. But when we try to compare apples to apples, I'll say that I do believe that Harley-Davidson is a little bit, it's on the expensive side. It's an expensive motorcycle. Too expensive, probably, but it's an expensive motorcycle. Let me start talking about, give you the positives. The one thing I do like about Harley-Davidsons is I do not think, Honda included, I don't think there's any manufacturer of motorcycles out there that does fit and finish better than Harley-Davidson. Their bikes are just gorgeous. I don't care if you don't like them. I don't care if you say you can't ride more than 5 miles before the things break down. They look good. Their paint jobs are immaculate. I mean, it's just, I like that, when you're talking about the touring class of Harley-Davidson, you get a lot of chrome and not plastic parts like you would get with some of the other manufacturers. So their fit and finish is fantastic. I can say that about them. The other positive thing I can say about Harley-Davidson is that their resale value is pretty good. They're expensive, but when you go to sell it, you can get a decent amount of money for your Harley-Davidson. As long as it's not, in horrible condition, you can get a pretty good return on your investment. Are you going to get all your money back? No. Are you going to make money on it? No. But as far as depreciating asset item, your Harley-Davidson is not too bad in the motorcycle world as far as what you can get back from. So those are some of the positives. I would say some of the negatives, which in my mind makes the bike a little bit too expensive, is that you pay a lot of money And Harley still has not gotten up to the level of amenities that some of the bikes that cost far less. And I don't know if they're just not listening to their customer base. And Harley owners, I know they're fickle. I know there's a certain design. I know they like Harley owners want the V-twin. They don't want the a flat six. I understand that. But simple things like making an adjustable windscreen, Harley owners have been asking them for that for a long time. And why you can't do that is beyond me. And other things, like I know some of their bikes have LED lights. I think, like I was looking at the CVO Limited, I think they have all LEDs. But it doesn't come standard. I mean, for the price, again, are they overpriced? They're overpriced to me where if I'm going to pay the amount of money that they want, certain things should be standard on that bike that are not standard. So those are some of the things. The liquid-cooled engines, or I don't know whether they do the complete engine or just the heads, but for the amount of money they want, they should be liquid-cooled. Again, I'm talking about the touring class. Every touring class Harley you get, Road King, Street Glide, Road Glide, they all should be liquid-cooled at the lowest entry level. None of them should be air-cooled. So when you say, are they expensive? Yeah, they're expensive or are they too expensive? They're too expensive for what I would expect to get. Some of the things they mentioned in the video was that, Harley's never going to lower the price, and that, if you adjust for inflation, Harleys are actually cheaper than what they were before. I don't believe so. I mean, I know about the adjustment for inflation, but they're not cheaper. If a bike was 20 grand, 10 years ago, and it's 25 now, it's not cheaper. You might say, well, adjusting for inflation, the price hasn't gone up that much, but the price has gone up. And again, but the expectation is also gone up. What we expect out of paying $25,000, $28,000, $29,000 for a motorcycle, our level of expectation has gone up. And where Harley has not matched that level of expectation, I think that's where you can make the argument that, yeah, they're too expensive for what you get. Now, for the other factor that you have to take into account, which they didn't in the Laidlaw video, is that the dependability and reliability. Again, if you're paying $30,000 for a motorcycle, I just hear way too many complaints from Harley owners about issues they've had to deal with their bikes for paying $30,000 for a motorcycle. It's just way too many. I was watching a video, I think it might have been one of these videos where guys were going to Sturgis. So, they're preparing to go to Sturgis, and they're Harley guys. And the one thing the one guy says, you always got to pack at least 1 quart of oil. And I'm like, why? Why? Are you going to be down that much oil for that trip? If you're doing a 1,000-mile trip, 2,000-mile trip, you automatically know you're going to be down 1 quart of oil? Does that mean that the Harley engines are burning too much oil? And I hear that quite frequently, that, Harley owners carry oil with them because their bikes burn a lot of oil. And so how is the engine, let's get back to we're paying $30,000 for a bike. How is the engine a great engine if I have to carry oil around with me? I don't, maybe I'm spoiled, Honda Gold Wing spoiled. I go on a trip, I don't pack as a necessary item 1 quart of oil with me. I just, pack my clothes. That's what I do. So I think when you start talking about reliability of the bike, some other things that I pay attention to, you're talking about the oil and the engine. Harley owners, though, when they get their bikes, you put them in the garage, and one guy said, park your bike, get an old rug or something like that, and park your bike on the rug. So if it leaks, then it's not getting on your concrete in your garage. It's getting on the rug. Well, when you have to take that, so I have to take that into consideration if I buy a Harley. It's gonna leak. You can't stop it from leaking. So here's the best way to prevent things from getting damaged when it leaks. Maybe it's not that way for everyone. Maybe I don't know if it's just a bad stereotype that Harley has, but it seems like there's enough people on YouTube that do these type of things, that have Harleys. So is it too much for the bike? Again, caveat is nothing's too much if you have the money and you want to spend it. It's not too much for you. Is it too much in comparison to other bikes and the reliability and the quality that you're getting? I would say reliability, yes. Quality, maybe not. Because what I'm also paying, I'm paying for fit, I'm paying for finish, I'm paying for all of that stuff. I'm paying for, dependable engine. And if I don't have the dependability and the reliability in that bike that I'm looking forward to, or that my expectation is, then that bike is too much.